live from the saloon bar, where I think things are all quiet at the moment because everyone's in the luxury garden facility.
Yeah, everyone's in the beer garden.
That's what it is. What is our drink of the day? I think we better go for a thirst quencher.
Yeah, well, our thirst quencher for me, I would say, how about a nice cold lager, Czech lager as well.
Now we're making sense.
Yes, good. Not too strong because you want to sort of swallow it fast.
Yeah, like a 4% one. Nothing over 5, but yeah, Lost and Grounded, who are a Bristol brewery, do a nice Keller Pils, which is delicious.
All right, we'll go for that then. That's our official drink of the day. Thank you. But
There we
obviously
go.
drink
Responsibly.
and with great caution, or don't drink at all. Just drink water. What's wrong with tap water? Anyway, today's confession, which we'll exchange for a smart speaker, comes from Darcy. Darcy, hello, good afternoon. Matt's shaking his head already because he doesn't like the name Darcy.
Right.
Drive Time team. Actually, you might judge her on the first and opening line here.
Okay.
Hi, Drive Time team. I'm after forgiveness from yourself and your viewers
Right.
for an incident from about 40 years ago. I mean, Confessions was on the telly a long, long time ago. Please take into consideration, I was very young. I can't remember the exact age, but I was in infant school. Okay, so it's very young. And of course, at that age, very impressionable. A PG certificate, I think, for this one, by the way. I'm hoping that pretty much everything you do wrong in primary school can be forgiven because we didn't know any better. So this came about when I had to wait for my brother at the end of school to come out of his school, which was the junior school next door. This was usually about a 10-minute wait. So I used to wait by the old brick-built school bike sheds. It's a confession from the bike sheds.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh dear.
Whilst waiting, I used to read what was written on those old bricks by previous pupils. I was practicing my reading skills, although there were quite a few words I didn't know and didn't understand. That's education, right? The problem began when I decided that this writing on the school bike shed was suitable literature for the school toilets of the infant school. I can't remember what I wrote, and being young and blissfully unaware of the content, thought it would be a good idea to copy what I had seen. It seemed to be okay to do this as I'd seen it on a wall, so presumably it'd be okay on another wall. So one day when I found myself in a cubicle, I took out my felt tips and I copied all the interesting and strange ancient words that I'd remembered from the wall.
Oh dear.
And I copied them onto the toilet wall. I considered this handwriting practice, so good for my education. Also, some of the words on the bike shed had drawings to go with them. So I copied those too. So that's art as well.
Yeah.
So there's a whole education going on. You may think, well, that isn't too bad, and maybe I could be forgiven, but there is worse to come. Obviously, the teachers of my school were not very happy with the writing on the pupils' toilet wall, and they asked for the culprit to own up. They said they had never seen such a thing, were horrified and appalled, quite correctly. Well, I obviously couldn't do this. I couldn't own up, because I didn't want to get into trouble. And surely the situation would blow over. Well, no chance. Absolutely no chance. Now, what you need to know, Father Simon, is that every year the school took the whole year group on a trip to the zoo. This year, we were told that if no one owned up, we would not be going on the trip. This still did not persuade me to own up. So I stayed quiet. And it gets worse. The teachers then looked at the pupils' books to see if they could work out by the handwriting who the culprit was. And it came to pass that the handwriting was exactly like Penelope Johnson's. The class SWAT! The goody-goody two-shoes! Hurrah! Well, what a fuss there was. And obviously the other pupils were not too happy that she wasn't owning up and they couldn't go on the yearly trip to the zoo. She pleaded innocence, but eventually, after much pressure from her fellow classmates, she caved. She said it was her after all. Even though it definitely wasn't. Because it was me, says Darcy. I don't expect to be forgiven, I have to say, but would like to seek forgiveness from Penelope Johnson, who owned up to it, but it wasn't her. Also from my fellow pupils in the class, but we did get to go on the trip. And to the teachers who spent their time trailing through the books, trying to match the handwriting there with the handwriting that they found in one particular cubicle of the toilets. So, yes, it's Darcy's confession, Sister Susie, with responsibility for keeping up the standards of the nation.
Well, Darcy, I know you say you're only copying what you'd seen. However, you still vandalised the toilet cubicle in your infant school, and I think that alone doesn't deserve forgiveness. So whatever you wrote, even if you didn't know what it was, you still did the vandalising and the graffiti. So for that reason, I'm not going to forgive you.
I think also, even though you're at infant school, you know perfectly well that writing,
Yes, I think you do.
writing on a toilet cubicle is not the way society progresses. Brother Matthew.
I mean, obviously, that's true. On the other hand,
However,
you know, I mean, does Darcy not get brownie points for cunningly disguising her handwriting so it looks exactly like Penelope's? And also, these teachers with the own up. No, don't think I will. All right, we're going to check the books and find the wrong person. Hardly CSI. Well done. I'm going to forgive.
Are you?
Yeah.
There's a surprise.
Shock.
So it's a split vote in the studio. The question is, do you forgive Darcy, yes or no? On the text 61054, start your message with Simon. Also, you can email Simon at greatesthitsradio.co.uk. It might be that that's inspired a confession of your own from primary school days. I don't know. Making your handwriting look like Penelope Johnson's.